Hey there. So people are always asking me how they can get more witch wave, how they can work with me, how they can find magical community. And my answer is join the Witch Wave Patreon. There is where you'll get bi-weekly bonus Witch Wave Plus episodes, as well as ad-free Witch Wave episodes and detailed show notes for all. The Witch Wave Patreon is also where I lead a monthly online magical ritual, which you can attend live or watch the recording of at your convenience. And that's available for members at all tiers. And then rewards for some other tiers also include magical merch and contests where you can win Witchly prizes, as well as getting early heads up about my workshops before they sell out, and opportunities to get magical one-on-one guidance from me. And all backers get access to our exclusive digital coven, where you can connect to a community of other wonderful Witchwave witches around the world. So head on over to patreon.com/witchwave and sign up. It's a marvelous way to get more magic in your life and to support the show. Thank you so much.
The world is filled with bewitching people, and you might be one too. Welcome to the podcast where art is magic is real, and reality is stranger than dreams. I'm Pam Grossman, and this is The Witch Wave.
Hello, and welcome to the Witch Wave. Happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Solstice, Merry Christmas, blessed Yule, all the things. My gorgeous, glorious friends, this is the last Witch Wave episode of 2025. Yes, indeed, I'll be taking a much needed break for a month or so to travel and also mostly to try and rest and recharge. It has been quite a year, and so I'm gifting myself with a little bit of extra hibernation time this winter. And speaking of gifts, I want to thank you for considering gifting a copy of Magic Maker to your loved ones this holiday season. It's available pretty much everywhere online and at bookshops. And remember, you can also special order it from your local shop if they don't happen to have it in stock. And I'm so grateful to those of you who have gotten copies already. Thank you so much. So yes, as I was saying, I'm going on a little winter break. But if you can't wait until we're back with new episodes on January 21st, have no fear. I will continue to do some Witch Wave Plus episodes over on Patreon throughout that month, as well as our monthly virtual ritual for Capricorn season. I don't have that exact date yet, but it will be announced on Patreon as well soon. So do join me over there at patreon.com/witchwave. In the meantime, I've got lots of magic to keep us busy. On January 7th, I'll be in London at Treadwell's Books with Christina Oakley Harrington. And New Yorkers, save the date for January 15th in Dobbs Ferry, New York. That's just north of the city. You can take the train there. I'll be participating in an evening of magic and conversation and crafting and cheese tasting up at a space called Hudco. And tickets will be on sale for that soon. It's going to be a really, really special evening. And a reminder that this Sunday, December 21st, Jonica Stuckey and I will be leading an online winter solstice ritual workshop, and it's going to be a really sparkly special one. Tickets are sliding scale, and yes, this one will be recorded if you can't make it live, so do register if you're interested. Info and tickets for all of this can be found at pamgrossman.com/events or via my Instagram bio at phantasmaphile. And please do sign up for my newsletter over at pamgrossman.com too if you haven't already, so you don't miss anything. And speaking of the solstice, yes, it is almost here, and we are in the thick of holiday season. Matt and I threw a big holiday/50th birthday party for him a couple weeks ago. And every year that we do this, one of my rituals is to brew a giant pot of mulled wine. I put in some Merlot and brandy and honey and slices of orange and cinnamon sticks and cloves and star anise or anise if you prefer. And I just keep that thing simmering all night. And I like doing this to offer our guests something warm to drink during this chilly season, of course. But honestly, I mostly do it for the scent. I just love how it makes our apartment smell. And so even for those who don't drink a drop of it, when they walk into our home, it smells like a welcoming celebration and like comfort and sweet heat. And each of the ingredients has a magical element. Orange for joy, cloves for protection, cinnamon for abundance, and so on. And so I like to imagine this magic infusing the entire space as this scent wafts throughout the gathering. It's a semi-secret blessing from me for our guests. And also, I think it just helps to keep the party vibes right. Using scent as a spell has a long tradition, from burning incense to anointing sacred objects and the self with fragrant oils. Over the years, I've been gifted with vials of a bromelain oil, and as I write about in Magic Maker, this is a blend that's based on an ancient sanctification oil that was used by Jewish priests as described in the book of Exodus. And no one seems to know exactly how to make a bromelain oil today, because when you read the recipe that's in the Torah, some of the ingredients and amounts are a little tricky to translate or discern what today's equivalent would be. But myrrh and cinnamon and olive oil are key components. And today, modern witches often used an adapted formula of those things and a few other oils, which was developed by early 20th century occultists S.L. McGregor Mathers and Aleister Crowley. Regardless, this oil smells spicy and warm and solar. And it's used for everything from protection to spirit communication to devotional practices. And many think of it as sort of a catch-all scented booster signal for one's own magic power. And while you can source a bromelain oil from thousands of shops, online or otherwise, there's something special about blending your own if you feel called to, and come to think of it, that would be a really beautiful solstice gift for someone. I've long loved the magic of scent, And so, of course, when I discovered the work of Mandy Aftel many moons ago, I just fell, well, nose over heels. Mandy is a legend. She has been at the forefront of the natural fragrance movement for over 30 years, coming up with such perfumes as Secret Garden, Forest Bathing, and Palimpsest. And her books about perfume are heavenly as well, because she sees the art of perfuming as alchemical and inherently magical. There is something intuitive and transformational about her approach to fragrance, and I feel a deep kinship with her love of scent, symbolism, witchcraft, and sniffcraft. I think you're going to swoon over my conversation with her, as I certainly did myself. But before we get to that, first, let's check and see what's come through on the Witch Wire.
Who is it?
Witches!
Hi, Pam. This is Roxy. I'm a longtime listener and a great fan of your work. Thank you for your thoughtful, insightful, and artful style with delicious aesthetics and lots of heart. You and your work are an ongoing inspiration. I am so excited about your new book, and I've been sorry to miss your book events, but I am in Antarctica, where I'm currently working and living for the austral summer. Though I pre-ordered it, I am still reading Magic Maker as I am savoring it slowly and thoughtfully as I go through it. It is a glorious offering, and I am enjoying it immensely. In case you were keeping count, you can check Antarctica off your list, as witches are everywhere. I keep up with the podcast here as well, and I can't wait to read and hear what's next. Much love from the bottom of the world.
Roxy, 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 how I delight in this message. You know, one of the most mysterious parts of making our work is that we never truly know everyone it reaches or everywhere it reaches. And there's something beautiful about the not knowing. And I totally honor that. But my gods, do I love knowing and imagining you listening to the Witch Wave and reading my words all the way down in Antarctica just thrills me to my core. So thank you so much for letting me know and for saying such lovely things about what I make. And of course, I have so many follow-up questions for you, like, what are you exactly doing down there? What is your work? And will you be casting any spells in that icy terrain? Regardless, Roxy, I love the point you make that witches are everywhere. I'm lucky enough to sometimes hear from witches all over the world, in cities and on farms and in the suburbs and in the desert. But yeah, Antarctica is definitely a first for me. And it fills my heart to know that there's this sweet and thoughtful being down there right now making their magic. I know you said it's summer there at the moment, but getting a message from that snowy realm felt so perfect for our winter holidays up here that I just had to share your message now. Thank you so much for sending it along and literally widening our magic circle to the ends of the earth. I'm sending lots of love and bewitching blessings to you and the penguins. Now, on to my guest. Mandy Aftel is a pioneering American artisan natural perfumer who has been called one of the fragrance industry's most prolific talents by Vogue and an angel of alchemy by Vanity Fair. She is an author, educator, and founder of Aftelier Perfumes and the Aftel Archive of Curious Scents. She's written many gorgeous books on perfume, including Essence and Alchemy and fragrant. And she has a new book out called Symbolorum, The Secret Wisdom of Emblems, which explores the esoteric insights and enchanting imagery of the Baroque emblem book, a long-lost cousin of the tarot. I have adored Mandy's work for so long, so finally getting to speak with her was a deep honor and an immense pleasure. Mandy joined me remotely from her Aftel in Berkeley, California, and you can watch the video of our conversation over on my YouTube channel, which is at Phantasmophile. Mandy Aftel, welcome to the Witch Wave.
I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
And I'm so thrilled to have you here. As I told you when we spoke on the phone, I have been a fan of yours for so long. So the fact that I'm looking at you right now and speaking with you right now is just like making me giddy. Thank you so much for being here.
That's so sweet of you to say thank you. Thank you.
So we are gathered here on the occasion of a brand new book of yours. I'm going to hold it up on my screen. And this is the Symbolorum. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes, you are. Yes.
Yes. And it's such an exquisite book. I promise we're going to get to it. But because I'm gazing into the eyes of one of the most celebrated, brilliant perfumers that has probably ever lived. And I can say that, Mandy. I know you can't say that, but I can say that. I must start talking to you about perfume. Are you okay with that?
I love what I do, and I love talking about it. Yes.
I'm so glad. So let's start with the preliminary question that I'm sure you can answer in your sleep, but just for the Witch Wave listeners, what began you on the path of scent? How did this start enchanting you?
I had a life before I became a perfumer. I was a psychotherapist for artists and writers. A couple books about that.
Mm-hmm.
And this book was a biography of a rock and roll star, Brian Jones from the Rolling Stones. And I was involved in that world of rock and roll because I'm 77. I'm an older person.
Right on.
I had a whole life, and I had never planned to do perfume. I wasn't even interested in it. But my last book was about stories and plot and narrative. And I thought I'd like to write a novel. And I love research, which is what I loved when I did the rock and roll biography. And so I thought, I'm going to make my main character a perfumer because that would be so interesting to learn about. And I knew this was like 30 years ago. I knew at the time that the world of perfume was largely synthetic. And I'm very interested in the plants and the materials that had been in people's cultures and magic and rituals and stuff throughout eternity. So I thought, I'll learn more about that. So I started by going to book fairs and getting old books, and they were very inexpensive. It was before the internet, and they were just filled with lore and customs and rituals and magic and plants. And I just loved them. And from there, I thought, still for my research for my novel, I am going to go to a little place, a little aromatherapy studio where you could make something. So I thought I ought to smell the materials so I could write about them. And I went with a friend, and we took a class, and I had a little bit of talent from the get-go. I kind of felt I knew them. I felt like I could connect with them. I had no idea why or how, but I felt that.
Mm-hmm.
We started a perfume line together, she and I, and this was in, I think, the very early 90s.
Okay.
And we're the first natural perfume line called Grandiflorum, and we launched in Bergdorf Goodman's, and I made all the perfumes. And the friendship and the perfume business fell apart really fast.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, no, it was good. It was really good. I was back out of it, but I just loved working with those materials and learning about them. That I could not kind of change or shirk off. And it was kind of very early in the internet. So from there, I wrote my first book, which is called Essence and Alchemy.
It's a legendary book. For anybody who's interested in perfume, they probably know it already. I've had a copy for many years, and then you graciously sent me another edition recently. It is such a spectacular book.
Thank you. When I did it, I had been studying alchemy anyways, and I recognized that the steps in the transformation in alchemy and the materials felt to me a perfect fit for the process of making perfume. So I applied, one to the other, and that's how I came up with that name. And over time, people have adopted it. They've loved that. It's been kind of the gateway drug into my world. It's just got published in 17 languages all over the world.
Yes.
From there, because my experience hadn't been good, I thought I was terrible at business and terrible at things, but I was just jonesing for making stuff. So in the beginning, I thought, well, I'll just make custom perfumes for people because then I could learn new things and make new things. But slowly but surely, I developed having a perfume line, and I went on and wrote more books, and I worked with chefs because the materials were the gold for me. I source materials, I sell them, essences, and I love looking for them. To me, the most extraordinary thing on the planet are the essences from plants and all of what they're about.
Yes.
Fast forward maybe 10 years where I have a perfume line. I teach people to make perfumes. These different things I've done hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to make a museum of scent because all along the way I had collected things, and it was kind of delicious collecting. It was cheap. I mean, you could just get stuff.
Yeah.
No one was interested. You could go on the hunt. You could find these strange things. So I did. And I had lots of stuff all over my house.
What kind of stuff, Mandy?
100-year-old essential oil bottles that had never been opened.
Wow.
I had prints of all of the animals from perfume, a lot of things that related to perfume. I had my own essences, which were hundreds of them on my perfume organ.
Mm-hmm.
I went on to collect the 5 animals of perfume. I commissioned someone to make me a whale. So I have a 6-foot whale in the museum.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like, is it paper mache? What is it made out of?
I love the hunt. Whatever experience you have where you get to look for it and not take so many of them and then hone in on that one that speaks to your soul, whatever that is, I love that. So I found a whale carver in Nantucket who made little tiny wooden whales, and they had great teeth. That whale had just terrific teeth and his and little wrinkles. I said, could you consider making me one that was 6 foot long? His were like 12 inches.
Yes.
So we have a big whale in the museum on the wall.
Right.
What you get from that whale is ambergris, which is mythic material, which
Yes.
I also have in the museum for people to smell. So I made this museum with the old books and the prints and the vegan taxidermied animals. I have a musk deer. It's made out of paper mache. I have little perfume stamps that they use for labels, but they look like jewelry.
Mm.
I have 16th century herbals. I have a book of secrets from an alchemist.
Wait, tell me more about the Book of Secrets.
When I wrote my book, Fragrant, which is one I don't think you've seen, it's this one. I'm holding up my book.
Oh, yes.
This book traces 5 aromatics and their relationship to deep spiritual practices.
Ooh.
I did this book. I was researching and I found out about these things called books of secrets from the 15 and 1600s. And they were kind of magic books with recipes. And the most famous one, which I didn't own at that time, but do now, is a Book of Secrets by Alessi de Piedmontese. So I read all about it, but I had never really seen it and touched it. I am of the belief that touching and smelling and really engaging with something, if there's a transmission you get from that.
Yes.
In all those old books, everyone who comes to my museum, which is filled with everything that's 100 to 400 years old, they can touch it.
Mm.
They can smell things. They can engage. So it goes into their body in that way. Anyways, I've just gotten to do these wonderful things in my life.
Oh, it sounds like such a dream. And I love that you sort of stumbled into this, or at least you weren't planning on this. It's not like from the time you were 7 years old, you thought you would become a perfumer. And yet I am curious, there was something deep inside you that wanted to make the protagonist of your novel, or at least a character in your novel, a perfumer. Where did that come from, do you think? Do you think you were sort of writing yourself into reality?
I don't know where it comes from. I sort of know why I wrote about Brian Jones, but I kind of don't totally. I feel like I follow my intuitions and my hunches.
Yes.
And even though I was a psychotherapist, I feel like our understanding of that is not complete. We get these gifts, and that if we follow them, we get more gifts.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't quite know what or why. I do know, though, the process, which I'm very interested in. As I engaged with it and anything I've really fallen in love with, it gets better and better. That's the sign to me it's the right thing.
Yes.
So as I got involved in it, I always felt that it was the materials that were the magic. So we have like no finished perfumes in the museum, no bottles, nothing about commerce.
Mm-hmm.
The importance of these materials in people's lives and how beautiful they are.
Yes.
That was very important to me.
I love that so much. So let's dive a little deeper into the magic of the materials. What do you mean when you say that these materials are magic? Because obviously you're talking to me, you're on the witch wave, and some of our listeners have their own conception of magic. What do you mean when you say that these materials have magic in them?
They're transporting. They take you somewhere inside yourself. They have a kind of, certainly a personality, but a beauty. But there's something in them that's unknowable. And to me, to know something, you have to work with it. When you work with something and you're in that process of working with it, which my perfumes are all about working with them or making the museum, you discover what's in that for you. And I was very lucky in finding things that had such depth and spirituality and cultural relevance to so many people. So, for example, our last weekend in the museum, we had a lot of people. We were sold out a lot. We had like 70 people. That was a giant weekend for us. More diverse.
Yeah.
Racially, where they're from, how old they are, whether they're interested in perfume or hate it, all of it. And I watched them become happy and just being able to experience this beauty that comes from nature. And if you look back in all magical practices, whether it was for anointing or for casting spells or for whatever, or I don't know, having a holiday dinner, people always considered including this. This was never, ever left out. So everyone must feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
You literally have the essence of the plant. And that seems to me magical.
Yes, so beautifully said. Do you have a sense of different plants having different energies or different spirits?
I do. I feel like they're complete in themselves. You know, the world of aromatherapy, for example, really ministers to that in a very particular way. And I'm always careful to say I'm not an aromatherapist, I'm a perfumer.
Mm-hmm.
The world of people who've studied that in ways that are very well thought through and well researched. But for me, it's more intuitive.
Yes.
And this is very unromantic and somewhat even unmagical. I think of them as having a job to do. I'm making a scent. All the essences that go into making that scent, and I know you know this because you're a terrific writer.
Oh, thank you.
Writing something I really labor over. Is it the best word? Is it in the best place? Could I use less of them? So in making perfume, there's a kind of grammar. There's a kind of way you begin to put the materials together and you begin to figure out on that path, like editing in writing, is this the best candidate because of the inherent possibilities of this oil? I don't know if this is part of what you want to know, but let's say you're going to make a perfume and you were going to pick, say, jasmine or rose for it.
Sure.
Things that people know of. So if you picked them, if I talked about them and was thinking, well, should I put in jasmine? Should I put in rose? They're so far apart. Such different capacities in a perfume. So jasmine is what's called a fecal floral.
Wait, let me pause you on that. Fecal floral. Okay, got it. Good name for a band.
Yes, there we go. So it's a poopy floral. I'm hoping your listeners are not going to run screaming.
Oh, no, this is going to be their favorite part.
Real jasmine, which I have been buying for many, many years from the grower in India. It makes the best jasmine because I test like 10 of them before I buy because I like the process. There's a molecule in jasmine called indole.
Yes.
It's a very funky smell. It's also in poop. So one of the things that you smell when you smell real jasmine is the funk. It's got the yin and the yang. It's like life.
Yes.
The light and the dark. So I have an exhibit in my museum where I have a few little naturals and synthetics, vanilla, ginger, and jasmine. And I have naturals and synthetics. You can compare them, smell them.
Mm.
And the synthetic jasmine is just straight floral. And the natural one has got the funk.
Yes.
It's got this other kind of sexy, interesting, maybe repelling, but drawing you in, kind of pulling and pushing. It's got a whole other energy.
Yes.
And when you put jasmine into a perfume, it tends to be more intense than rose. Rose is like your best friend. Rose gets along with everyone.
Mm.
A little bit of rose in a perfume is just smooths everything down, makes everything very harmonious. More rose, you have something more rose-centric. There's nothing rose doesn't get along, but you could push it into the background if you wanted in the perfume. Let other things come forward. And the jasmine would be more, hey, look at me. I'm in here. I'm in this perfume.
Got it. Got it. So this makes me want to ask you about things like love potions. And I mean, there is such a beautiful history of witchcraft and perfume. And so do you ever make perfumes or blends that are supposed to have some kind of effect beyond it smells good? Do you sometimes craft a perfume that's maybe supposed to attract somebody or make someone feel more confident or have that kind of a spell work aspect to it?
When I make a perfume, I make it around a feeling for me. So the way I create a perfume, and I've done this for a really long time, is I choose two essences that are sort of far apart from each other. I have a wheel. This is a wheel of mine. And
yes. So Mandy, for those just listening, is holding up like a wheel and it's rainbow colored with different words that I believe have different scents on them.
this wheel is really families of scents and subsets of those families. So there's like spicy and floral and resins and woods. So I tend to pick two essences that are far apart, that are not near each other in smell.
Mm-hmm.
And they will make a third. And just think cooking for this.
Sure.
Two ingredients in cooking, and they're going to have this effect. They're going to come together and make something. They're going to make a third. So I start with those two, and they are my best candidates for the feeling I want to have happen with someone when they open the bottle. So I'm very interested in what is the feeling the person will get from that perfume. So for example,
Yes.
I have a perfume called Memento Mori,
Oh, yes.
which is a sad and grieving perfume.
Ugh.
It took me a long time to make it. It was about someone I had lost, which I kept quite vague about who they were and how I had lost them. It was a sad perfume. And it was supposed to smell like skin being close to someone physically and that experience, but that experience being gone. When I made it, it was such an interesting process because the process kind of followed the relationship. It was there, it wasn't there, it was good, it was bad, it was gone, it was up. It was just like I was in it while I was making it. It was really a transforming experience. And after I'd made it, I felt more whole about things. It kind of gave me a lot, having made it.
Yes.
But what was most interesting, and it was weird, and I got a terrible review in the beginning. I remember I just got this awful review, like, what's wrong with me and the Aftel? This smells weird and whatever. It smells, I forgot what they said. I think I've blocked it, but it was bad. And I thought like, oh no. And what's happened with that perfume is it's gotten so beloved. It's gotten so much attention.
Yes.
But people will write me and say, you know, I really love that perfume and it feels sad to me and it has a sad beauty. And I find it makes me feel better. And I thought like, whoa, that message in the bottle, it got all the way to that person. That's thrilling.
That's incredible, Mandy. I love it. It's like a song or a poem, or I would say a spell. That's so, so beautiful. On that note, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. This episode of The Witch Wave is brought to you by Mithras Candle, as it so often is. Fall is here, and with the cool autumn air and darkening evenings comes a radiant tool for creating the perfect sacred setting or cozy moment. Of course, I'm talking about Mithras candles, my favorite. For 10 years, my mythic and scientific pals in Philadelphia have been hand-making gorgeous beeswax lights inspired by their experiences in science, magic, and mysticism. Mithras candles come in natural golden yellow and sensual black, with other colors and collaborations popping up throughout the wheel of the year. I'm obsessed with these candles. If you've listened to The Witch Wave for any amount of time, you will know that. And I know that you will be hooked as well once you experience the Byzantine hand-dripped style of a Mithras candle and their honey floral aroma. These candles are made with soul to carry your intentions to where they are needed. Go to mithrascandle.com to pick up the perfect glowing addition to your magical moments. And best of all, Witch Wave listeners get 25% off their first order by using offer code WitchWave at checkout. That's offer code WitchWave over at Mithras Candle. M as in magic, ITHRAS candle.com. I am obsessed with Zoo's incense, which is why I am so excited to announce that I have partnered with them on an exclusive Witch Wave incense blend just for you. The Witch Wave blend is inspired by Artemis, goddess of the moon, the hunt, the wild. It contains sandalwood, orris root, myrrh, black storax, mugwort, ambrette seed tincture, and organic ylang-ylang essential oil. And I cannot tell you how fun and magical it was to collaborate with the folks from Zoos and come up with this blend for you. You can order your Witch Wave incense blend by going to witchwavepodcast.com/shop, and you'll see it there. And this is a small batch, limited edition, so we'll see how long it lasts. I also want to encourage you to go to Zoos' site and order their incense from them directly because they are so incredible. They have 9 incense blends currently available, and they are handmade and hand-rolled, all natural, and all of their ingredients are organic or wild-crafted and made with whole plants, seeds, roots, woods, tree resins, and tinctures. Zoos also offers hand-cast, concrete burners, charcoal, raw aromatics like frankincense and myrrh, and incense supplies. Check it all out at zoosincense.com, and if you use promo code WitchWave, you'll get 10% off. So that's right, you've got 2 places to go. One is witchwavepodcast.com/shop to get our exclusive Artemis-inspired Witch Wave incense blend. And you can get everything else over at zoosincense.com. That's ZOUZ incense.com, and use offer code WitchWave for 10% off everything else. Thank you, Zoos. Welcome back to the Witch Wave. Are you interested in witchcraft and witches? Because I've always gotten the sense that you were one of us, but maybe I'm projecting too much on you.
Yes, no, I'm very, very interested. I'm interested in things that happen that can't be explained, that you don't totally understand, that have a dimension in them of like, I don't know, I'll get the right words, but that have a power and a beauty and a spiritual part of it that I think all things occult have. I think the original meaning of the word occult, I think, is unknown.
Yep, that's right. Unknown, hidden. Yes.
And so I've always thought that aspect of life was really fascinating and also is, to me, the most imbued in nature. Nature has that kind of magic, and people who gravitated to that and use those things and understand those things, which were pagan or whatever you want to call that from the past, those people, I really enjoy reading and understanding their experience. And I feel like perfume, not maybe the large commercial corporation perfume, but artisanal perfume and interest in oils and interested in talismans and interested in things like that. That I feel like to me is closer to the soul of perfume. So as a business person, which I sort of am kind of, I've never had any interest to grow or to not make the things myself or source them. I enjoy all the work that I get to do. And I feel like people love these things and have loved them forever, whether they understand them or not.
Yes.
I like people who find that inherent magic in nature.
Yes. Oh, so wonderful. I'm compelled to ask you, is there a certain scent or essence that you personally find mystical? Like if you were going to, let's say, leave an offering on an altar, or you were going to anoint a statue of a goddess, is there a certain oil or essence that comes to you that you think is maybe a little extra special or a little extra divine?
I think that of ambergris. I had a long journey to even find it in the beginning. And ambergris is whale poop.
Back to poop.
It's back to poop. Poop from the sperm whale, but not all sperm whales. And I have some in the museum, and it comes out and it looks and acts like poop. But as it transformed by being on the ocean and the sun and moving around and landing on the beach in this kind of magical way that people find it, it smells divine. It starts out not so great and ends up probably one of the most beautiful smells in the world. So that transformation and that history all the way back of people finding it, they've known about it forever. How do they know? I also love a material called costus, used medicinally for a very, very long time, and it smells like violets and a wet dog. And just that something could be this kind of wet animal, but also with this violet aura to it. It's just such a amazingly artful smell. I also love spikenard. You get an incredibly good extraction of it, a CO2 extraction, which is a carbon dioxide extraction. And it's what Mary washed Jesus's feet with long, long ago in the Bible. It was very revered in the past. It has this long braided history with some of the most important events that ever took place. And people were always anointed with it. It's very funky. It's a little in the patchouli vein, but it's complex. I like the aromas that have sort of like a main smell, but then have interesting facets. And when you work with them, which I do, those facets connect.
Yes.
So natural essences, by their very nature, are complex personalities because they have a main aroma and then they have these facets.
Yes.
Which can make your perfume really great or absolutely awful.
Exactly. Well, since this episode's going to be airing around the solstice and the winter holidays, I'm compelled to ask about frankincense and myrrh, some of those scents. Why were they considered so sacred? Is it just because they were rare or because they had a certain scent? What is it about those two?
The word perfume comes from perfumen, which means through smoke. That's where the word perfume comes from. Through smoke means the earliest perfumes were incense. They were burned. And what they did was they replaced human sacrifice. So they had human sacrifice before, and then they saw these resins that they could burn, which is frankincense and myrrh. Those ones are resins. There's a whole family of those. They're kind of the lifeblood of the tree. And you can scrape the tree and they kind of beat up. They look like jewels.
Yes.
And if you hold them, they transfer their fragrance to your hands. So I think they were part of that burning of them was part of what people thought of as the path to heaven. As the smoke went up, it was on its way to God or to some spiritual being. And so I feel like that was a part of those very early beliefs and that are still with us. Like I feel like we do choose those things for incense because they're beautiful, because they have that tangled history with us, and because they smell terrific and they helped purify things and so on. People wanted rituals to mark things, and they were also rare and expensive.
Mm, excellent. I love that so much. And I'm a huge incense person, as I'm sure you can imagine, Mandy. So I love hearing about that. All right. Well, I want to make sure we get to this spectacular book. As you've mentioned, you have many books out, mostly about perfume and scent, and some about flavor and fragrance. This book feels as if it's a little bit new terrain for you as an author, and also you've colorized a lot of these images in this book. You watercolored them, I believe. So for those who aren't looking at this screen, who are hearing this, can you tell us about the Symbolorum? What is this book?
So it was another kind of flight of fancy for me, which sounds like my whole life, which is true.
Love it.
I was reading a book. I think it was called the Craftsman Design Guide or Herbal Guide or an old book. And there was one line in it. They mentioned a book called the Symbolorum. And they said one line. It was nothing. But the word Symbolorum, I thought, oh, I love symbols. I wonder what that is. So I started to look it up on the internet, and I found these pictures in it. And then I was just kind of obsessed, and I am a kind of obsessed personality type. I tried to translate it, and I decided I wanted so much to know. So I have my real book here, which I'll show you, the original one from the 1600s. I'm holding the book up now.
Yes, and it's an old book with marbleized cover paper. It looks like an alchemical manuscript.
It does. And this is the title page.
Yes.
And this book is filled with, I don't think even people watching could see it, little tiny prints of animals and plants doing things kind of like Aesop's fables. So it's an image and a motto at the top and two lines, and it's all about how to live your life.
Yes.
It's a masterpiece and lost to us as people.
Mandy, let me also interject and say each emblem that you're describing, each little vignette or scene is enclosed in a circle. So it's like a lot of images that take place in these circular scenes.
Yes.
That feel very mysterious. Okay, sorry, keep going.
What there is in the real Symbolorum, the original one, is there are 400 images, 100 of plants, 100 of animals, which they call quadrupeds, which includes things like the basilisk, the Ouroboros, the musk deer, all kinds of mythic unicorn things, and tigers and lions.
Ah, the best.
100 fish and 100 birds. And they take examples from these animals' lives and make a kind of story and symbol out of it about how to live. And I was so captivated by what they wrote and by the pictures. And the pictures they wanted to stay in your memory. So they made them absolutely beautiful, slightly weird, and full of meaning. So when I wrote the book, I was studying all those symbols, what they mean. And it was kind of wonderful. It was really wonderful. So I've added a little more to the book about what the symbols mean. But they believed in these emblem books, if something was on the surface, it wasn't as valuable as if you had to work for the meaning. So the pictures involve you and you working for the meaning and understanding it in relation to your life.
Yes. And I'll just add that in the introduction to this book, which is so beautiful, Mandy, you're such an exquisite writer. And I also learned so much historically about these emblem books. You know, you bring up the fact that they seem almost like a precursor to tarot and other oracular kind of decks.
Yes.
Because there's like a cryptic, almost like a rebus, a visual puzzle that you're meant to kind of decipher or interpret, right?
They're a lot like the tarot. The tarot predicts things and tells things in a way that this doesn't. But this is a lot like what you had described. Was it bibliomancy?
Yes. I mentioned that to you yesterday on the phone, but I'm excited to talk about it here now.
I looked it up and I thought, this is exactly right. I think that this book stands alone in that. There were many, many, many emblem books. They were a very popular form, and then poof, they disappeared. But I think they disappeared because around the 1600s, the view of nature radically changed, and people gave up the mythic, witchy, full of fables aspect of nature and became incredibly scientific. And they just left out all the poetry and all the magic and all the
enchantment
of nature. So this was one of the dying gasps of that point of view, where you would have a turtle and he would do this and they'd write about it, or a rabbit and he would do that. And it was just charming. And one of the things that was so amazing to me was the problems and life conditions they talked about then. We're still having them.
Yes.
We have not changed much. And what they were trying to address and help through looking at the animal and plant world, that to me is pure magic.
Yes. We're talking about bibliomancy. For those listening, it's essentially when you open up to any page in a book randomly and you either see what's on the page, or sometimes your finger can randomly point to a passage. Some people have done this traditionally with the Bible, but you can do bibliomancy with any book. So, Mandy, should we do a little bit of bibliomancy with your book and see what symbol comes up? And then maybe we can dive into it a little deeper.
Do you want to pick one? Because I have some I picked out too. But when I got off the phone with you,
yes,
I went back through them and I thought, oh, I got to bring up this one. This one's so good.
Okay.
But I don't know if we should do it more randomly.
Let's start with what you've prepared. That's a great idea. And then maybe I'll choose a bonus bibliomantic one. How about that?
Yes. So I'm going to tell you what this is. I love this one.
Okay. And please describe it for our listeners.
I will. So this is very typical of the symbolorm. There's a foot coming out of a cloud. I painted them. So I made everybody gold glitter. That was their race. They're the gold glitter race. So I made everyone gold.
Fabulous.
The foot is stepping on saffron plants. This one says, and it's so beautiful, it says, I rise again, more beautiful for being crushed. And the idea is that saffron comes back much stronger after it's been crushed. But how could you not be curious and engaged with a picture of a foot coming out of a cloud, stepping on a saffron plant? So that's number one.
Love it. What does that one bring up for you? Like if you were to open your book and that came up, would you interface with it like it's some kind of a message for you to contemplate or meditate on?
I think it's the idea, which I do believe in so much, that when bad things happen to you, you can find your way through that and learn things and come back stronger, which isn't to say you're not wounded or partially hurted from things, but there is something to moving through bad things.
Yes.
The strength you gain from coming through bad things is a particularly beautiful kind of strength. So that's what I would think of for me.
I love that. And it makes me think of just the word friction, that no growth comes without some agitation or friction or challenge, but that can be really beautiful and perhaps even fragrant and magical.
Yes, I completely agree. I totally and completely agree. So my next one is this one, which is of daylilies. It's a daylilies. It's got kind of sun shining on it, and they're a little past their prime. And the thing that's interesting about daylilies is, because I've grown them, they only bloom for one day. So they're about as zen as you can get.
Yes, all about detachment.
They come, they go. So the idea for that is live your life like a daylily. live your life like this is your last day. Like really grab onto that ephemeral, fleeting day joy experience. Like don't push it to the side, but really get in there with your life. That's what it says to me. And I think that's a message that's really worth enacting in your life. So
I love that. It's like carpe diem, carpe day lily. I love it.
I have 6, but I can do as few or little as you want. That was 2.
Okay, let's do another one.
Okay. This is just a little rabbit and he's sitting under a tree. But if you look at him carefully, he's got his eye open.
Yes.
So this one is really full of warnings. And I kind of love that too. It's about the rabbit sleeps with his eye open. He's about vigilance. And it says, we are surrounded by countless traps. It's about the rabbit paying attention and taking care of himself and sleeping with his eye open so he can survive, which I also think is important to pay attention.
Yes.
So I love that. It's not all like everything's great. There's lots of stuff that's warnings and wisdom, and it's just very rich. So anyways, That was my other one, the little rabbit. Although I have to do this one more because I would feel like I had really screwed up.
Yes, please do.
This is the killer one.
Ooh.
This one's so complicated. What it is 4 mythic figures. They are put together looking at each other, and they have a chain between them that's binding them and flames coming off each one of them.
Yes, I'm seeing a griffin. Who else am I seeing there? Maybe a sphinx.
Here you're seeing, this is a lion. This is a dragon. This is an eagle. And this is what's this one in the bottom called? What is that? A siren.
Oh.
And this one is the best. It's the absolute best. And it says, love is everything. If you seek the end and beginning of things, stop, for love alone is the only cause. And then it goes into these 4 different kinds of love, some which are good, some which are bad. And it's just such a rich, amazing symbol. It's just incredible and goes into these 4 mythic creatures.
It is so beautiful. It also makes me think of the World card in tarot, which has the 4 animals, which I think are supposed to symbolize like the 4 archangels. I mean, there are a lot of different interpretations of it. And certainly there's a whole bunch of other examples of the 4 corners, the 4 directions, the 4 elements, plus then spirit. Oh, you're showing me on the screen, you're holding up a page that shows the Wheel of Fortune card in tarot on the left, and then an emblem card from your book on the right. What am I seeing here, Mandy? It's like
the world with an eagle and a book under it.
Yes. You're drawing a visual parallel in your own book between tarot and these emblems.
Yes. And I've done it elsewhere too. There's a couple others. It's really easy to see how connected they are. Here's the wands.
Ace of Wands on the left you're holding up, and then to the right is one of the emblems that shows a hand coming out of a cloud holding some sort of plant or flower.
Looks just like it. And then here's the last one.
Yes, it's the Moon tarot card on the left, and on the right is one of the emblems from your book that has the moon and some creatures in the foreground, just like the moon card does. Oh, that's so interesting, Mandy.
Isn't it? It's so interconnected. And it's so wonderful to bring that out because the tarot has survived, but this really hasn't.
Right.
It was why I was so possessed to bring this into the world. I thought like, oh my God, nobody's going to ever know about this but me.
Yes. An inevitable question. But do you think you're going to perhaps turn this into a deck of cards? I could see it being a deck of circular cards that one could draw from.
I would love to do that. I need to figure out how and who to do that with. But it's hard for me to leave them behind because there's 400 and I only have 100 in this book.
I see.
I would love to do another set of 60 or something that put more of them into people's lives, that they could use them in that way because they're so useful to just pick up and get an idea about that day or what's going on in your life. They're not in the suits, you know, like the tarot with the major arcana and the suit, but they're great for just pulling a card.
On that note, we're going to take another quick break and we'll be right back.
This episode of The Witch Wave is brought to you by Sister Temperance Tarot. Angeliska of Sister Temperance Tarot offers readings that are compassionate, trauma-informed, and powerfully intuitive. These sessions are designed to help people navigate life's biggest questions, transitions, losses, and awakenings with clarity, grace, and care. That's no doubt why Sister Temperance Tarot has been voted Best Psychic/Tarot Reader in Austin for 10 years running. They've been reading professionally since 1999, and they specialize in readings for artists, fellow mystics, creative spirits, seekers of magic, and lovers of mystery. Come with your questions and leave with insight, strength, and a spell of support. Readings are available by phone or Zoom, so book a session now or learn more over at sistertemperancetarot.com. Hi, Witch Wavers. I know, and you know, you want some Witch Wave merch. And our print-on-demand merch site is now available through Dashery. So if you want to get different variations of our gorgeous Witch Wave logo designed by Thunderwing, or our Witches Are the Future catchphrase designed by Lara Antal, printed on everything from t-shirts, mugs, totes, stickers, magnets, notebooks, you name it, you can. Shirts come in different styles and fabrics and are available in sizes small through 5XL, so you can order whatever you'll feel you're most comfortable and most magical in. So head on over to witchwave.dashery.com. That's witchwave.dashery.com, or you can click the Dashery link in the Witch Wave shop over at witchwavepodcast.com/shop. Welcome back to the Witch Wave. Okay, so that feels like a good segue for me to open to a random page bibliomantically. Here we go. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm flipping and I'm stopping. Ooh. Okay, so this is the one I got. It's a camel. And the phrase beneath it is nothing beyond my strength. And then beneath, there's a message that says, do not unwisely put too much on your tender shoulders.
Perfect for you right now.
It is. An unequal load lays even a strong man low. Mandy's laughing because we've been having lots of conversations about our schedules and busyness and stress and so on. So yes, I think that's a good note for me, don't you?
It's so right on. The camel has an unequal load, lays even a strong man low. He's got too much on him. He's burdened down.
Camel needs a vacation.
Camel needs to let up a little bit. It's perfect for you, but it's just so cute and adorable too.
It is. I love it so much. Did you want to pull one for you, Mandy? A random one, bibliomancy style?
Okay, I'm going to take a look. I have Post-it, so I'm afraid I'm going to cheat and pull a Post-it. So I have to close my eyes so I don't cheat. Okay. I got on page 150, so much fun. 159, it's got a heron. Mine has kind of storm clouds and a heron flying above them, and then there's a city below. Also, one thing this book is marked by, there's very few humans.
Yes.
A lot of emblem books have humans, but this has none. They were not interested in humans. The stuff about the animals is front and center, and of course about our human lives. So mine says, I follow what nature dictates. The wise man sees and flees the blasts of fortune, just as the heron on high flees the rainy south wind. So he's above the clouds, and he announces when a storm is coming.
Ooh.
When you see them above the clouds, that means a storm is coming. And it says, so here the heron represents rising above the storms of life.
Okay, that's not so bad, right? I hope a storm isn't coming for you literally, but even so, it sounds like you're just going to rise above it, Mandy.
Well, I look for that. I think that I'm wary like the rabbit, and I keep one eye open. So flying up above it would make me very happy.
Ugh, exactly. So beautiful. Well, listen, we only have a little bit of time left. I have a bit of a nosy question for you, and this came to me after our preparatory phone call, Mandy. So if you don't want to answer it because we didn't talk about it, I understand. But I noticed in your acknowledgments at the end of the book that you thanked a musician who I am a huge fan of, and that is Leonard Cohen. And I was curious as to how you knew each other.
Well, hold on. If I turn this, will that wreck the podcast?
I'm going to talk to our engineer, Walter. How do you feel about Mandy turning her camera? Walter says A-OK.
Hey, Foster, I could be doing something terrible
and
here.
And Foster's your husband. It's okay. We're freestyling. Ooh.
I don't know if you can see.
Yes. Beautiful prints or drawings.
Those are all from Leonard Cohen.
Ah.
The one over there with the bird has the last verse of Hallelujah. It's a very famous song. It's here.
Yes.
I knew Leonard for 20 years. I made perfume for him. And he loved my stuff, which was kind of unbelievable and hard sentence to say, but I don't want you to have me hemming and hawing all over your podcast because I can't get it out of my mouth. And he wore my perfume every day.
Can I ask which one, or is that a secret?
I have this perfume called Oud Luban. Luban is a word for frankincense, and oud is oud, and I use real $50,000 a kilo oud.
Whoa.
He wore my body oil, and he wore that perfume, but that perfume was his favorite. And over the years, he got in touch with me. He was very interested in the Kabbalah. He was interested in the Ketoret, which was the original incense in the Bible.
Yes.
I was shy. I am shy. And so I liked interacting with him, but I didn't really want to meet him. And so in the end, we would communicate back and forth. I wouldn't charge him, which made him upset because he wanted to pay. And so he would send me gifts and I would send him gifts. And so every Christmas and every birthday and whatever, we sent gifts back and forth and wrote back and forth. And that was for 20 years. When I knew he was dying, I knew people in that world. I knew this Roshi, the man he studied with. He sent him my stuff. I knew someone in that world of things.
Yes, Roshi was his Buddhist teacher, if I'm remembering correctly.
He used to wear my body oils and stuff. I mean, it was very sweet.
Incredible.
He was dying. I did go visit him.
Was that the first time you met him?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I had not wanted to. And it was an amazing visit. And he played me that last album of his, You Wanted It Darker.
Yes.
The whole album.
Ugh.
And we had this very, very sweet interchange. And he was just a big supporter of me and my work. And I feel more in contact with him now than I did when he was alive because I was too shy to be able to connect. And now I'm not as shy.
Yes.
But he was and is a profound influence in my life.
How beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I had a feeling there was a good story there when I saw his name. And I'm a big fan of his music and his poetry. And it makes sense to me that someone who was so spiritual, so deeply mystical, and had such a poetic soul would be attracted to you because you clearly have that energy as well, Mandy. It's so obvious to me.
Well, thank you. He really loved the old materials from the Bible, and he liked things in oil. He was a great student of Judaism and Buddhism, and the old things that had this tangled, witchy, deep, old meaning for people. He was very interested in that. I fragranced his house, his body, his whatever. It was all old materials for him. And I felt honored to be able to do that. It's only the natural materials that have that.
Yes.
Not only are they extraordinarily beautiful, but having that relationship to us and our past and these more divine powers, it's only in the naturals. It's not in anything else.
That makes such sense to me. And I think it takes a very sensitive, intuitive, magical person to be able to work with those energies at the level that you've been able to do. So I'm so glad that you found them and they found you and that you're still working together. I wish we had longer to talk, Mandy, because I have 1,000 more questions for you. But before we end, I know that my listeners are going to want to visit your museum. They're going to want to buy your perfume and your books and study with you. What's the best way for people to learn more about you and connect with everything you do?
Well, I have a website, aftelier.com, and a lot of people like to start with Essence and Alchemy. I revised it 2 years ago. I redid the cover because I hated the cover.
And the subtitle is A Natural History of Perfume, this book.
I redid the teaching because I've been teaching people to make perfume for almost 30 years, and it was really old. I thought it was horrifyingly old because I'd learned so much along the way. Not that anybody had complained to me, but I was horrified. So I updated the teaching here. And then this one that I had mentioned, Fragrant. I feel like Fragrant is a great place to start. It's the one that follows 5 kind of talismanic essences: mint, cinnamon, frankincense, ambergris, and jasmine, and gateways into all kinds of history and practices that we've gotten into. So cinnamon is about the spice root, little things we bring home, about luxury. Mint is what's underfoot, gardening, what's at home, what's nearby, and herbals. Frankincense is, as we talked about, a kind of gateway into incense, into spiritual traditions. Ambergris is the most celebrated aspect of animalics, which includes musk and castoreum and ancha and hyraceum, but also includes us as animals. And then jasmine, which is the world of flowers and beauty. It's about wabi-sabi beauty.
Yes.
Each of those essences brings together those experiences and those values.
Gorgeous. Okay, so folks need to track down your books. They'll check out your website. I believe your classes are also available via your website. You teach some classes via Zoom. I know they sell out and they're very popular. And I just need to come to your museum. I'm dying to do it. And how can people visit you there?
We have a museum that's open every Saturday. We're a little tiny business of my husband and my son, so it's just us.
And that's in Berkeley, California?
Berkeley, California. It's called the Aftel Archive of Curious Scents. I love having visitors, and I go say hello to all of them. It's the history of the world, the history of these materials. There's raw materials to smell, old books to look at, 50 things to smell in my rose garden. There's all sorts of wonderful experiences in this museum, and we just have rare and interesting stuff in there that will speak to you. I hope people come.
Oh, I'm sure they will, and I can't wait to be one of them. Mandy, I cannot thank you enough. This was such a dream, and you are just a real inspiration to me. So many, many thanks for taking the time to do this with me.
Thank you. And I've so enjoyed talking to you, and I so loved your book and loved what you're doing, and I hope we'll stay in touch.
Oh, you cannot shake me now, Mandy. We're stuck together. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's it for the show. Thank you again to Mandy Aftel for sharing her scented sorcery with me. Do you have questions, feedback, need some witchly advice, or just want to share something magical that happened to you recently? Drop us an email or a voice memo over at witchwavepodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you, and you just might make it on the Witch Wire. Please check out the video of my conversation with today's guest and prior guests over at my YouTube channel @Phantasmophile, and please like and subscribe. The Witch Wave is a Phantasmophile production, written and produced by me, Pam Grossman. We are 100% independently run and proud of it. This episode was recorded and edited by Josh Wilcox and/or Walter Nordquist and myself. Our theme music is the song Hand and I by Lycanthia. Our new Witch Wave logo was designed by Thunderwing. Special thanks go to Matt Freeman, Laura Antal, and Cece Pascal. Please pick up my books Magic Maker and Waking the Witch, or the Witchcraft volume I co-edited for Taschen's Library of Esoterica series. And if you want more Witch Wave, or you would just like to support the show, please join us over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/witchwave. Thank you so much for listening. Witches are the future. I'll catch you next time on The Witch Wave.